it's Darby from rejoiceandcreate.com, and this is a little mini series of 5 videos that I created because I was gifted a paper pad that was 4.5 by 6.5 inches. That gives me an even number plus a ½ inch for a tab. Perfect for making bags and boxes. For this one, it's actually the little French fry looking box, and I think this is pretty adorable. And yes, I made it out of a 4.5 inch by 6.5 inch paper with some creative scoring. So let's go ahead and show you that I'm going to use this gorgeous paper, and it's from the Paper Studios Terrace Blooms, which is a copper foiled sheet pack. They're not all copper foiled, but there's some very pretty patterns in here, and I've saved that one for the French fry box. So let me show you how I scored it. All right, so what I did was I went ahead and scored this at 1.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and I scored it at 6 inches just so I know where to line it up. Then turn it, if there's a top, turn the top to the right because that will be on top of the box, and score it at, let's see, what size did I make that score? 3/4 of an inch. You can make your score less, a little bit less, if you want to make your bag, French fry box a little bit taller. All right, let's just set this aside for a moment because we're going to use it in a second. Let's go ahead and fold and burnish our score lines. Oop, that doesn't look straight. There we go. All right, so do that one and this one and this one. That last ½ inch when you don't have to score, it just helps me line it up so I know where to put my glue. All right, so this is going to be our bottom of the box, and that large section in the bottom will be the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it about maybe a little bit less than a 45-degree angle there, and I'm cutting this off by cutting off the score line. So I'm just cutting above the score line to cut it off. And same with this side, maybe just a little bit less than a 45-degree. And I'm cutting off all this over here. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and form it, and actually it's formed like a little pouch. So we'll go ahead and put glue. You can see where that ½ inch tab is. On the outside of that, we're going to put glue because that will go underneath. All right, let me just go ahead and use some score tape or some double-sided sticky tape. And fold that over, line it up, make sure your top is lined up, and then we're going to go ahead and fold up the bottom too. All right, so go ahead and fold that up. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to put this back on our scoreboard. So this is the back pocket, this where I just folded that back tab up, and the back seam, and then that's the top. So we'll go ahead and put that up. And what we're going to do is 3/8 of an inch from each side, we're going to make a score line down. And we're going down only to the 3-inch mark, and it happens to be right where the top of that bottom tab is. So if you just do the bottom tab, just go down to the 3-inch or where it looks good to you. So on the 3/8, 1, 2, 3/8, we're going down just to that 3-inch mark. I don't know if you can see that one on the scoreboard, but just to the 3-inch mark. And again on this one, 3/8 inch over 1, 2, 3. And on this side, it ends up being 2 5/8, right down to the top of that tab. All right, now mine went through fairly well, but I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing on this side anyway. And I can see where my score line went down to right here at the 3-inch mark. 1, 2, 3. All right, now we've got one more score to make with a scoring tool and a ruler. And how we're going to do that is to just score now. Let me show on this side so you can see. Our score lines ended up right at where that tab is, and we're going to score a line to connect that end of that score line to the corner. So it's going to be angled out to the corner on both sides. Let me get it the right way. Okay. And actually you can flip it over and do it on the front side as well. Because I can see where my score line ended and just bring it down to the corner. So it's at an angle. Okay. And that will help our little French fry box fold into a French fry box. All right, so the last thing we're going to do is I wanted to have mine curved on top. As you can see, I have a bit of a curve on top of this one, and that same curve is echoed below on the front. And how I did that was I just took something that had a curve that I liked. And this happened to be one of the Jot boxes that I got at Dollar Tree, but I liked the curve. So what I did is I actually marked the center of my bag, and it's 3 inches, so the center is 1.5 inches. And actually on the back, that seam should be right in the center of it. And I put my circle right up so I touched the top right at the center. And you can either score or you can draw a line and then erase it. I'm going to go ahead and score. All right, so then just go ahead and cut along that line. Okay, so all I do now is I take, this is the back with the seam, and I take the front and I just bend it over. Now go ahead and open up and push in where those score lines were. And that gives us our little French fry box shape. Somewhat of a French fry box. This actually was inspired by a Chick Fil A French fry box. All right, and that's what we have. Isn't that sweet? I'm just going to run a piece of copper washi tape right along the top to make the edge a little prettier. And washi tape doesn't tend to stick too well, so if you really want it to stick, you probably need to put some other adhesive underneath it. And then for my sentiment, I'm going to use a 1 3/4 inch circle, because the sentiment I'm using is from Catherine Pooler. And it's actually this one, which is Spot On. And it's really fun because it has spots, which has congrats, wishes, and happy. And then you have a whole bunch of other things to mix in with it. And of course, I'm going to make this one for a happy birthday. And just to gild the lily, I actually stamped the birthday stamp in Versamark and embossed it with copper. Let me go ahead and put that on there. Okay, and I went with a little bit smaller scaled circle because I decided not to layer my glue layer on because I think it looks really great the way it is. And let's go ahead and put some foam tape on it. Let me flatten that out to do that. And that's one of the nice things about this one is that you can flatten them. So it will store flat. Okay, no, I did it now. I pushed it down enough. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? All right, my final thing is to go ahead and put a ribbon around the bottom, like this one. I learned to tie the white ribbon. And then for this one, I put together a little package, and these are both a 3 by 6 inch flat bags. There's no gusset to them, they're just flat. And I have a Ghirardelli chocolate, a gift card, and 2 of the Starbucks coffee sticks. 2 of the Arizona iced tea green tea sticks will work as well. Some of the smaller tea bags will fit as well. If you use a bigger tea bag like one of these, you have to fold down one of the sides, but it will fit in there once you fold a side down. And then I just tuck that in. And how sweet is that? So I hope you enjoyed the project today. They're fun to do, and they make some really fun little, I guess, kind of French fry boxes. It was modeled after one. If you liked the video, please subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified of new videos as I post them. For more information, please go to rejoiceandcreate.com. And as always, until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye!